With an election looming, the political temperature is starting to rise as Labor accuses Peter Dutton of hiding assets in a private trust. This comes as the government digs into the opposition leader's past, uncovering a slew of unusual share trading activity during the global financial crisis. While his financial dealings face fresh questions, will voters begin to turn their backs? Well, for more, we're joined by the Leader of the Opposition, Peter Dutton. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Matt.
So the interesting thing here is there were actually two big bank bailouts after the GFC, one late in 2008 and then, bam, out of nowhere, this one in January 2009. To secure all the big commercial property debt. Right before that one, you bought shares in three of our biggest banks after not trading shares in 3 years. Can you categorically say that nobody told you the government was about to announce that bailout?
Categorically, and I've always conducted myself with honour, Nat, and I don't think anyone's ever disputed that. And I saw value in bank shares that were depressed at the time, not because of balance sheet problems or because of profitability issues. It was an opportunity that I sought to invest. If there's anything to hide, I wouldn't have declared the shares. Everything was publicly disclosed, and I provided that information. So I have never acted this transaction before or since in a way that is anything other than honourable and with integrity.
So the Labor government was briefing the coalition at that time to clear things up. Should you release the minutes of Shadow Cabinet to show everyone that it wasn't brought up and told to Shadow Cabinet at the time?
Well, the minutes of Cabinet and Shadow Cabinet are pretty sacrosanct, so it's probably a decision for others, and there would have been discussions at the time on other topics, so why not release those details as well? I just think, look, let's call it for what it is. The government is having a shocker. The Prime Minister is on his knees, the government is collapsing, and they're throwing dirt from 15, 16 years ago. I mean, why not have raised these issues before now if it was a big issue? And as Andrew Charlton pointed out last night, the Labor MP, the Prime Minister's office was shopping this around last week, and they've shopped it to a number of journos. One's picked it up. But this is how the government operates, and they're throwing mud because if the PM had a good story to tell about the last 3 years of government, wouldn't he be talking about that and saying, look, I've had a cracking 3 years, you've done well, you're so much better off in your own household, vote for me for 3 more years of the great times. Instead, they haven't got that story to tell, so they're just throwing mud, and I think that's all it is.
I know, it's a lot of mud. People are saying, oh, insider trading, he had an advantage that most people didn't have, and he bought those shares literally the day before. Do you see why it looks sus?
It's just not the case, though, Nat, and the declaration was made at that time, so in accordance with the rules and all the rest of it. So I think there were plenty of people buying bank shares at that time because they saw that the shares were depressed and there was an opportunity to purchase, and that's exactly what I did in accordance with the rules, by the same rules anyone else plays by. We're in opposition, not in government, so it's a completely different scenario, and that's, as I say, I stand by my record as a police officer, as my time in Parliament. Nobody's ever questioned my integrity, and no one ever will.
OK, Peter Dutton, thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure. Thanks, Nat.
Here's Shervo.